naira while being sold at 2,165 naira. For the euro today, we have it at 1,775 naira while being sold at 1,800 naira. And the Canadian dollar today is at 1,150 naira while being sold at 1,200 naira, maintaining a 50 naira difference between buying and selling rates. Now we go over now to some of our top trending stories happening in the world of business today and see how much of that we've got time for today on the show. Now quickly, let's talk about the story bordering on bank customers who has gone ahead to petition the Central Bank of Nigeria over what it called excessive charges. The Bank Customers Association of Nigeria has revealed that it has written to the Central Bank of Nigeria about charges being deducted from customers' accounts. This was disclosed by the president of the body, Uju Ogumbuka, on Thursday at the 2025 Artificial Intelligence Conference organized by Super News under the theme Power of AI, Enhancing Efficiency and Customer Satisfaction for Better Financial Service Experience. This disclosure comes amid an increase and a migration to the end-user billing model for unstructured supplementary service data charge from being deducted from the bank account balance, a move which the body had faulted, describing it as a falling outside the scope of bank charges approved by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Speaking at the event, he said, on the basis of excess charges, we have written to the Central Bank of Nigeria to find out, a permanent solution to these issues, and if they don't, perhaps bank customers may have to come out to demand it. Let's pray that they do that, he said. Ogumbuka also lamented the less than desirable experience of bank customers in the country, stressing that AI is in a good position to resolve some of the many complaints. He explained the truth is that when you talk of customer satisfaction in today's Nigerian banking system, it doesn't exist. That's the truth. I have given you samples of where you can go, and you will find petition, live petitions, and more going on at Bankers House, CBN, NDIC, mediation centers, and of course the law court. And you will find all these things there. If people were really satisfied, they wouldn't be complaining. They wouldn't be petitioning. So we cannot really say that AI has come to dwell with us. Now, if AI has come to dwell with us, most of the issues being complained about would be taken care of by AI, and that's the truth. The keynote speaker at the event, Johnson Chukwu, has also highlighted some of the ways that AI can be beneficial to the financial sector. Now, on the customer credit, Chukwu said, today consumer credit is everywhere in this country because the machines are able to determine your income level and what you spend on. If you know the information available to the telco companies, they know who you make payment to and where you went to smoke, for example. Once you make a payment, they track it so they know your consumption pattern. They know how much comes to your account, so they can actually say, I can give Johnson, for example, a 50,000 naira loan. And the loan is automated. You apply and get it in minutes. All of this, according to him, is made possible by the application of AI. But on the other hand, the chairman of the Bank Customers Association has faulted the position of AI as not being able to resolve the many issues or plethora of issues bedeviling the banking services in Nigeria, as customers pile up complaints at various points of filing such complaints even in court with the various banks. Now, for me, I think clearly there's a lot that needs to be done as far as resolving many of the banking issues or issues with the banking services to the customers. Customers grapple with a lot of issues from, lack of the ability to recover, stolen funds, money debited to an account, yet not delivered during POS withdrawal, and you begin to file for recovery. You fill several forms, the money doesn't come back, and sometimes through the many charges that applies to a bank account is another alarming issue. Not forgetting the introduction of the withholding tax, on money is being credited to an account. Somebody is sending you 10,000 naira. At the end of the day, the money comes in and you see 9,950 naira. So these are some of the issues that compound the many other issues, particularly in the area of multiple charges. But yet, Nigerians are still managing to survive with all of these charges that are bedeviling banking services. But for the fintech, they are coming up with some improved ways of delivering banking services with less of issues compared to the usual commercial bank. The deposit money banks, regular ones, are always up with a lot of complaints being filed. Sometimes you go to the bank, you see long queues at the customer care service. Everyone is out there to resolve one issue or another. So these are issues we also expect that the CBN would be working at tackling. Now let's go over to the advice given to the manufacturing sector to leverage the African Continental Free Trade Area agreements. The External Affairs Director of the British American Tobacco West and Central Africa, Odiri Eriwa Megisin, has called on Nigerian manufacturers to seize the vast opportunities offered by the African Continental Free Trade Area for long-term growth and competitiveness. According to a statement, Eriwa Megisin urged companies to break free from the limitation of Nigeria's domestic market and expand across Africa. The charge was part of the remark delivered at the recently aired 2025 Business Day Manufacturing Center themed Unlocking Nigeria's Manufacturing Potential, Strategies for the Sustainable Growth Amidst Economic Turbulence. She declared Africa is your next growth frontier, as she told industry stakeholders that businesses that align their models to the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement framework will be best positioned for future successes. According to Eriwa Megisin, regional integration through the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement present powerful levers for scale, investment, and knowledge exchange at a time Nigeria's manufacturing sector faces rising inflation, foreign exchange scarcity, and infrastructure deficits. Eriwa Megisin highlighted the need to also look at the BAT Nigeria journey through decades of economic turbulence, stated that the company's resilience was rooted in strategic foresight, local investment, and a deep commitment to sustainability. She disclosed that BAT commands a 55% domestic shipment share and operates a $185 million manufacturing hub in Ibadan, which exports to 11 countries including the United States. Our operations contribute $110 million annually in foreign exchange earnings, she said, describing it as a significant boost to Nigeria's forex-starved economy. She also revealed that the company paid over 415 billion naira in taxes between 2018 and the year 2023, trained over 600 staff annually in leadership and technical skills, and maintained a zero lost time incident recorded since 2021. Eriwa Megisin added that creating a better tomorrow starts with empowering the people who are building it today, as she hailed the company's achievement of 67% of senior leadership being Nigerian nationals. She noted that the British American Tobacco Nigeria also boasts an inclusion score of 86%. According to Eriwa Megisin, women currently account for 36% of management roles and 38% of senior leadership positions. Eriwa Megisin stated that sustainability is a business imperative, noting that BAT Nigeria has embedded environmental, social, and governance principles across its operation, with all sites certified as zero waste and 30% of water used in production being recycled. She also noted that the company is on a track to achieve 100% renewable electricity by the year 2030. Some good performance data there, you will see, coming from the British American Tobacco. Now let's go touch down on the topic of indebtedness with the USSD. USSD debt telcos recovers 170 billion naira from banks. The long-term dispute between telecommunication operators and commercial banks over unpaid, unstructured supplementary service data fees appears to be drawing to a close, as telco companies confirmed the recovery of 95% of the 180 billion naira being owed to the industry. Chairman of the Association of Licensed Telecommunication Operators of Nigeria, Gbenga Adebayo, announced the progress on Thursday, stating that only 3 banks remain indebted, all of which have now committed to structure repayment plans. This development signals a vital step towards resolving a 5-year standoff that are threatening mobile banking services, a crucial channel for millions of Nigerians, particularly in rural areas with limited internet access. The debt, which stood at about 180 billion naira as of January this year, has now been cleared up to 95%, with only 3 banks left to pay, said Adebayo during a virtual media briefing. The telecom executive did not disclose the name of the defaulting banks. His comment came a day after Altin, the telecom group, which he currently pioneers, announced the rollout of a new billing model under which customers are charged directly for USSD services from their mobile airtime rather than through their bank accounts. The model, known as end-user billing, allows telecom operators to deduct the standard 6 naira 98 kobo per 120 seconds USSD session directly from the user's airtime balances. Customers are charged only after receiving and approving a prompt to opt into the service. The executive clarified that while migration to the new model is optional, bank choosing to retain the older corporate billing arrangement must have fully cleared their outstanding debts and must remit all future service fees promptly. Now, from what we can learn from this report, we now have 2 options available, not just the airtime deductions for the USSD service. So for those who want to remain with the charges being deducted from their bank account, yes, it will be allowed, but they said only on the condition that such banks have paid all of their backlogs being owed to the telcos. Only so can they also enjoy to use the old structure or plan of billing for using the USSD service. But for those who choose to migrate, yes, they can migrate to using airtime. For me, I think using airtime would be preferably, because I usually don't like my account balances being deducted, frequently with these little charges here and there. Now let's move away from that story. Over now we go to Dangote. Dangote blamed crude oil shortage as import from US surge. The president of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, says a 650,000 barrels capacity refinery is increasingly relying on the United States of America for crude. This came as findings showed that Dangote Petroleum Refinery is projected to import a total of 17.65 million barrels of crude oil between April and July this year, 2025, beginning with about 3.65 million barrels already delivered in the past 2 months amid ongoing allocation under the federal government's Naira for Crude policy. Dangote informed the technical committee of the one-stop shop for the sale of crude and refined products in Naira initiative that the refinery was still battling crude shortages, which had led it to resort to import from the United States of America. In a statement from the firm on Thursday, Dangote stated that stated this when the coordinator of the OSS Technical Committee, Mrs. Maureen Ogbonna, led the delegation to the refinery, which she described as a breath of fresh air, impacting virtually every sector of the economy. According to the statement, Dangote applauded the technical committee for its role in supporting the implementation of President Bola Tinubu's laudable Naira for Crude initiative. It also commended the positive impact of the Naira for Crude swap deal on the Nigerian economy, noting that it has led to a reduction in petroleum product prices, eased pressure on the dollar, and ensured the stability of the local currency, amongst others. However, he noted that due to a shortage of domestic crude oil, the refinery has increasingly relied on imports from the United States of America to meet its need in recent months. The statement read. Now, the debacle in this particular issue is quite clear. Even according to the PIA law, there is no way that the supply quota allocated for local refinery can satisfy the crude oil need of the Dangote refinery. Don't forget that the Dangote refinery is a 650,000 barrels per day crude oil refining capacity. And that of the local allocation is not more than 500,000 barrels for the entire local refinery. It's not just for Dangote refinery. So let's even assume that we're allocating the entire 500,000 barrels to Dangote refinery. We still have a shortfall of 150,000 barrels. So Dangote will always have need to import crude oil into the country. And of course, if it's going to buy outside the Naira for Crude swap, where it's to take advantage of the 500,000 barrels meant for the local refinery, then it can buy in dollar from the various drilling companies in Nigeria, the international oil companies, in USD. But you know that many of these companies already have their partners or business or clients that they are supplying to. Some of the obligations are extended in years, so he might not be able to fit in. So he needs to look for other sources, like what he already said is getting supply from the United States of America. Now let's also talk about the Dangote refinery's plan to distribute fuel across the country, and the plan by the marketers to have some engagement with him on this particular plan. The members of Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria says they will discuss with the Dangote Petroleum Refinery to fully understand the implementation of its plan to supply directly to filling stations nationwide. The executive secretary of the body, Clement Isong, stated this during a webinar organized by the association on Thursday. Isong noted that the marketers would also engage with the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority and other stakeholders as they took time to understand the new scheme from the Dangote refinery. At this point, we are watching the market, trying to understand it. We have read it in the news, and we need to understand exactly where it impacts, what impacts, and of course, how this is going to affect our businesses. So with all of this being said, it requires a lot of discussion with Dangote himself, discussion with the authorities, discussion with other stakeholders. At some point in time, we shall engage and do what is necessary to protect the market, should we have to do so. Now, the marketers initially protested against this position, particularly the distributors who use this tank, the Tankers Drivers Association or Truck Association. They've initially not wanting to allow Dangote to distribute direct to the retailer, but right now they have decided to have an engagement with him. I think this is a welcome development. But on that very note, we'll call it a wrap today on the show Business Connect. That's the much that we could take today on the program. Of course, next week, Monday, I'll be right here with another interesting package of the show. Do want to join me same time, same station. Bright Tomagum is my name, signing out of the show. It's saying have yourself a wonderful weekend and stay blessed, but bye for now.